What is a zero lot line? Today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of the zero lot line, so stay tuned. Are you scratching your head wondering what on earth is a zero lot line? If you've been to a show home, side note, you forgot to bring me, and people are asking you, like sales reps, do you want a zero lot line home versus a regular lot? Look how much cheaper it is. Have you figured out what that is other than just the cost? Because obviously there's obvious cost savings for a zero lot line, but what does that mean? We're going to talk about that. So a normal house has a house situated in the middle of the lot, and on each side there's a side yard, typically 4 feet on each side. On a zero lot line, the house is sitting on the property line on one side. So instead of 2 side yards, you have 1 side yard. The side yard isn't now 8 feet on one side, it is just the smaller side of 4 feet. Now, depends on the neighborhood, different sizes, different measurements. However, if you think about the zero lot lines, you don't have to build a fence on that one side. That one side has not allowed to have any openings because it is on the property line and so close to your neighbors. There is regulations with the city to make sure that it's all fire retardant. It's got extra fire retardant because of how close it is. That's why you can't have any windows or a fireplace, like no openings can be on that side. Zero lot lines are also a smaller width. So the building pocket is anywhere from 22 to 24. So building pocket is really important when you're looking at floor plans. You have a limitation of what you can and cannot do. So typically you see zero lot lines in duplexes, townhouses, but most recently single family homes. And that's really what this video is talking about, is the single family home zero lot line. There's lots of options. When we talk about the new areas, I'm going to give you some terminology update here. So when you're in a new area, you've got what's called the RPL and RSL. The RPL has the house with a detached garage in the back, and the RSL is the one with the garage, front attached garage. RSL lots are going to be bigger than the RPL lots. And typically you'll see the zero lot lines in the zoning for the RPL. Now I've seen a few different versions of a zero lot line home. You can very much have that front attached garage. It's more cost effective to buy the zero lot line front attached garage than obviously the regular lot, because the regular lot is going to be $30,000 to $50,000 more just for the lot itself. However, you have more freedoms with the sides and also the floor plan. With the zero lot lines, I've also seen zero lot lines with the garage attached in the back. That's a newer product, very interesting. It has the side yard instead of a backyard at all. The ones with the front attached garages can still have quite a large backyard. It's not always small. But when you look at the detached garage homes, like the regular ones, typically their backyards aren't really huge either. So when you're considering a zero lot line, you want to figure out what is your backyard needs. The side yard isn't going to be a huge deal. Nothing really grows on the side, usually dies anyways. So now you have one less side to worry about, and honestly you don't even have to worry about fence, because if you do build a fence, you're actually building on your neighbor's property. The fence just needs to be beyond the house property, not on the house line. So let's just get into the pros and cons of zero lot lines, since we've kind of already started that. So the biggest pro of a zero lot line is the cost. You being able to buy a home that you love and may be able to afford more of, versus if you were to do a regular lot. Regular lot will be price restrictive because realistically the best way to save money on building a home is through picking the lots, and the lot cost is going to be significantly less on a zero lot line than on a regular lot. Now a con of the zero lot line is that because the lots are so close together, you have a lot less street parking and it's a lot more crowded. Typically what you'll see zero lot lines, they'll be in front of other homes. They kind of like to offset it. So if you have a front attached zero lot line, you're probably going to put homes across that don't have necessarily the front attached garage. They may be the houses with the garages in the back, just to balance out the street parking. But that's going to be a con. It's just going to be a lot more crowded than you're used to. Another pro of a zero lot line is you've got less lawn maintenance that we kind of talked about. So you don't have to worry about the side yard because you only have 1 side yard, not 2 side yards. Depending on the way that the houses are facing, you might think, well, I could still grow things on the side. But you have to remember these houses tower over each other, and so nothing really usually grows in between. So you have less lawn maintenance, you're just dealing with the backyard and the front yard, whereas when you're buying a regular lot, you're dealing with the sides as well. So on that note, you have less fence to build, so it saves you even more money because the house is sitting on your property line. So you don't have to build fence that you would if you were on a regular lot line, that same distance. You only need to do one gate on the one side, and you get some cost savings for the fence. So one of the cons that people don't think about is that your layout options are a bit more limited as a con for a zero lot line. Because the building pockets are 22-24, so width makes a big difference when you're building a home in terms of how it feels, and even though it's the same square footage as a house that's got a bigger floor plan, so the same square footage is in a regular lot versus a zero lot, it's gonna feel bigger in the regular lot because it's wider. So it's important to understand that you're limited. Not only are you limited in terms of the feel of the home, also the side that we can't have any openings, can't have any windows. So if you think about bedrooms, they all need windows. Bedrooms all will need to be at the front of the house or the back of the house. Some areas do allow some side windows at the front of the house or one side, just really close. It all depends on the areas that you're in. But because of that, your bonus room and your 3 bedrooms are gonna have to be, sometimes we see this a lot, front of the house and back of the house. Master, 2 kids rooms. Master, 2 kids rooms, depending on the side, right? And bonus rooms usually in the middle because you don't need to have a window in the bonus room. So that's something you wanna consider. So another con is that there's not as many windows, but I guess as a pro, you don't have to clean as many windows and put as many window coverings on, as one of my clients said. It saves them money that way. But if you're a big natural light person, that's gonna be important to you, then you wanna think about that. Now, the obvious pro and con I have left for you is also the size of the actual lot. Not the width, but the actual size. There's no way that you're ever gonna get a huge pie lot in a zero. I have seen some exceptions where some zeros are pie, it depends, but the new areas are tending to get away from the cul-de-sac and more the straight and narrow, and so lots of just rectangular lots. And so don't forget with the zeros, you're gonna have less ability to see, you have more ability to see all your neighbors in the backyard versus the chances, if you want to spend the money on a regular lot, you could find some of those lots. It's not always the case because sometimes with regular lots, you're still also buying a rectangular lot. One of the other things that's important to know for pros and cons is the effect on resale value. Now, we don't actually know too much of that right now just because we haven't had a lot come on the market for resale. These are newer products that people are still living in, but they will affect the resale value of a regular lot and of a zero. Right now, it's a big question mark. We don't actually know. So I guess the pro and the con there is the uncertainty, but it could also be a pro as well. You can actually get more value, again, for your buck if you're buying that and there's not as big of a spread. If there's a $30,000, $50,000 spread to buy a zero, but in resale, maybe it's only gonna be a $20,000 difference, then that might actually be, again, more value. So what are the layouts that you get for zero lot lines? Zero lot lines, I've seen a lot of builders do this. They take their townhouse layouts and make them standalone, or their duplex layouts and make them standalone. Because of the limitations on the width and the size of the home, they're using what's typically that size, which is townhouses and duplexes, into their floor plans for the zero lot lines. So you don't be surprised if you find a layout that you saw as a townhome now sitting as a house. But really, you're standalone, so you're no longer attached, and that's a big selling feature for a lot of people and why they would prefer to live in a zero versus sharing a wall. So zero lot lines typically are 1,300 square feet roughly as a minimum, all the way up. You could go all the way up. I'd highly recommend staying under 2,500 square feet. 23 kind of would be the max, again, for resale value. You can build a 3,000 square foot house, kind of, because it has to get longer, not wider, right? Because you can't go wider, so you're trying to get more square footage that way. But typically that's the size that we see, and again, comparing a 2,000 square foot zero lot line to 1,300, obviously there's going to be more cost involved with the bigger home. So in my opinion, zero lot lines are a great option for families if they're looking for a cost-effective way to build their home, whether it's a dream home or their starter home. I think it is a good option, but we want to sit down and make sure that everything that you are thinking about you've actually considered, right? So, and that's something I can't do through video. Happy to send you if you send me a message, I'm happy to have a conversation to see if a zero lot line really is the best fit for you. I do think it's a great option, but in some cases it also might be a better option to just get a regular lot. So again, that's totally personal, but thanks so much for watching, and hopefully this video helped. If you have more questions, comment down below. Thanks so much and have a good day.